In this video, I'm going to share with you some tips and some things that you can do on an everyday basis to completely eliminate self-doubt, self-judgment, fear of being seen, fear of being heard, and all these critical negative voices that we have in our head for the rest of your life, and actually have the courage and actually have the energy to completely move towards your goals, to completely go after what you want, to completely be the person who you were always meant to be. So with that in mind, let's get into it. So the first thing that we need to understand is the concept of self-image. Right? So if someone has a very high self-image, then no matter what happens in their external reality, they will really not be affected by it. The reason why we do not go for the things that we really want to go for is because we do not have a high self-image. And self-image is nothing but the way we see ourselves and the way we perceive ourselves. So currently, just ask yourself, how do I see myself? And how do I view myself? Do I view myself as someone who is very capable? Do I view myself as someone who has a lot of potential? Do I view myself as someone who is the main character of my own life? And genuinely answer that question for yourself. As cliche as it may sound, you must answer this question. And if the answer is no, and you think that no, I don't think I'm the main character, or I don't think that I have a lot of potential, or I don't think I can achieve anything, and all these things, and that is the very reason you have fears and doubts in your mind. Because if you were someone who had a very healthy self-image of yours, then all these fears and all these judgments and all these things won't even come. It is not these doubts that we're trying to fight. It is not this anxiety that we're trying to conquer. All these things are just a byproduct of how we view ourselves. So if we fix how we view ourselves, then all these doubts and all this anxiety and all these fears wouldn't come up in the first place. So the question here is, how do I fix my self-image, and how do I become the person who genuinely, truly from the inside believes that they are confident and they have potential? Well, that thing is actually spoken about in this book called Psycho-Cybernetics, which is right here, and you should definitely check this book out if you're trying to fix your confidence and if you're trying to improve your self-image. So the thing is that our brain does not know the difference between reality and imagination. For our brain, our imagination is as real as the reality. So this book tells us that if we just imagine any scenario in our brain, we won't know the difference if that thing is true or not, and our brain most likely will believe that the thing is true. So if I am someone who has a very big meeting the next day, and I'm very nervous right now, I don't want to go for this meeting, and I've already imagined the worst case scenario in my mind, guess what? When I go on the stage that day, I will feel anxious, I will feel sad, I will feel like, oh my god, the world is here to attack me, and I will feel like everyone in the audience is judging me. And because I feel like everyone's judging me and everyone's here to attack me, I would act from that frequency, and then I would act a little bit more shy, maybe I would embarrass myself, maybe I would not give my best speech ever possible, only because I thought in my mind that everyone was judging me and I visualized the worst possible outcome. And that is exactly what all of us are doing, right? It is very easy for us to be negative, and it is very easy for us to visualize the worst possible outcome, and that is what we do, and we let our fears and we let our anxiety win over us. But what if we took that control back and we took that power back and we said, you know what, I will only imagine the best case scenario, I will only imagine the most positive, the most amazing, the most uplifting scenario for myself. Then guess what, our brain will actually start to believe that as well, and our brain will think that everyone in the audience is amazing because we'd imagine it like that. Our brain will believe that we are the most confident individual because we've imagined it like that. And then when I go on the stage that day, that is exactly what will manifest in my reality, because now I would be operating from that frequency, and I would be talking and walking and presenting myself in a way where I genuinely believe that I'm the most confident person. And that is exactly how powerful our brain is. The second thing is to just understand one thing, and this thing is so easy to understand, but we all sort of don't see it, we don't understand it, and that's why we fall into our own little trap. And that is that fear is actually an illusion. You know what? Our fear is not real, because if that fear was real and if that anxiety was real, then why haven't our worst case scenarios ever come true? We always think that, oh my god, I can never swim. You know, sometimes people have the fear of swimming, right? And just taking this as an example, so why does a person think that, oh my god, I can never swim, I can never like be in water, I'm so scared of water, and then they enter the water and then they start swimming? Like, why has that even happened if their fear was actually real? Because our fear is just an illusion created by our mind to protect us. And there's so much power in actually realizing that fact and actually accepting that fact, because the only real fear, real anxiety, and real, I don't feel very good about this, is the fear that makes us actually want to get better. And that is the only stress that is real. That is the only stress that you should be concerned about. So sometimes we're a little scared about a presentation that we have the next day. And because we're scared, we try to study and prepare in advance. And that guilt makes us work. So that guilt, that fear, that anxiety is actually good. And that is the only valid reason-based fear that you should be sort of giving into. But apart from this type of stress, if there are times when you don't feel confident from within, or when you feel scared, or when you feel doubtful about certain things, that there is no reason backing that doubt up, and that is a very, very big sign for you to realize that that fear is not real, and that fear is just an illusion which you can easily break. An illusion can be broken at any point in time. And there's this very, very nice quote that a fear is as wide as the ocean, but as deep as a puddle. So we may see our fear to be, oh my god, like if I do this thing, everything's gonna fall apart, and I don't know if I can ever do it, and all these things. But when we actually step into that fear, it's as deep as a puddle. Like you're like, oh my god, I was scared of this, and then you just continue to do it, and the fear completely disappears. So if any point in time you get scared, you get nervous, and you start doubting yourself, just take a step back and evaluate that fear, evaluate that negative thought, and just see if that fear is real or if that fear is just an illusion. If that fear is real, you will have a reason to back it up, that maybe I've not done my work, that's why I'm getting scared. Maybe I have not done this thing, that's why I'm getting scared. Then you can do that thing and your anxiety will obviously go. But if you're like, okay, I don't know why I'm feeling the stress, I don't know why I'm feeling anxious, and there's no reason to back it up, then just realize that this is an illusion and this can be easily broken. So what would I do if I wasn't scared right now? How would I act if this fear did not exist? And then do exactly that. Just go for it and just like take the first 10 steps, take the first 20 steps, and that fear will not even hold a chance. And with that, let's move on to our third point, and that is to take action despite the doubt. You have to just take that action despite you feeling doubtful or despite you being scared. Because the more exposed you get to that particular situation, the more comfortable you will be in that particular situation. Usually our fear is trying to put us in our comfort zone, and it's trying to protect us. Okay, it's basically like, okay, I'm scared of this because I've never done this, but that does not mean that that thing in itself is scary. No, that thing is not scary. We are scared of it because we don't want to step outside of our comfort zone. So all we have to do here is expose ourselves to that new situation, and our body will be scared for the first 10 minutes, the first 20 minutes, and then our body will get used to it. And sometimes our body will actually like that new environment, that new situation more than its previous comfortable state. And that's also known as exposure therapy, or the mere exposure effect in psychology. And the more you can expose yourself to uncomfortable situations, or situations that make you feel a little bit scared, that make you feel a little bit doubtful, the more you do that exposing thing for yourself, the more confident and the more comfortable you would become in that new environment. And then maybe after 1 month or 2 months, that environment will feel totally comfortable for you. And that's exactly what you need to do in order to completely eliminate your self-doubts and eliminate your self-judgments and eliminate your critical self-talk for the rest of your life. So if you're interested in content like this, content about productivity, about life, about meaning, about self-improvement, and essentially about making this life your best ever life possible, then this channel is for you. So definitely hit the subscribe button down below and join this amazing fam that we have, and I'll be very, very happy to have you inside this fam. And thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you have a great day ahead, you have a great weekend, and I will see you on my next one.